All right, folks. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about a question that is getting a lot of traction in contemporary public discourse. Is why is history important? I think we found that there's some deep misunderstanding about one, what history is, two, what historians do and why they do what they do, and three, the manner in which they do it, which I talked about in the previous videos. So this leads us to the proverbial question. Why is history important? There's a kind of common refrain here. It's like, oh, we study the past so that it doesn't repeat itself. I ask students all the time, it's like, why do we study history? Why does it matter? And this is the common refrain. And I'm not sure it's absolutely true. I think history doesn't really repeat itself. But past patterns in some instances might appear familiar. For instance, human beings have, unfortunately, for a very long time, fought wars. But the rules of engagement, the tools that people use over time have changed, which has changed the implications of war considerably, which gets us to this age-old quote by Mark Twain. It's told that Twain said, history never repeats itself, but it often rhymes. And that's precisely what I'm kind of getting at when I'm thinking about, the manner in which human beings have kind of always fought wars, but the rules of engagement have changed. The tools have changed. Inherent to this belief is historical recurrence. The idea that there exist repetitive patterns over time in the past. Even more broadly, though, is the matter of narrative and storytelling. Stories are matters of values and morals. And in arguing that studying the past might preclude history from repeating itself, I think what we're really saying, and this is what my students say, this is what people say that I talk to on a regular basis when they find out that I'm a historian, is we're saying that there is some moral lesson to be learned from the past. I think that is kind of what's inherent to that common refrain. So let's talk about why we study history. History is not was. History is. The past is still with us. History is still with us. It's still being made right now. There are any number of historians around this city, this state, this country, this world, writing history as we speak. We study history, in fact, to measure change. We study history to better understand how humanity met challenges with the tools available to them at the time. We also, as Twain intimated, analyze the past to better recognize present patterns. And listen, there ain't no such thing as the good old days. People have struggled to get humanity to now. And in studying the struggles of historical actors, we come to better appreciate people other than ourselves. So in that way, it's not just about the ethical implications and the moral implications of storytelling. The study of history is an endeavor into the affairs of empathy. We become in this way more empathetic by seeing people and reading about history. We become more empathetic in seeing how people met challenges, how people struggled, how they overcame those struggles, how they triumphed, how they failed. In some ways, becomes a referendum on ourselves. The past can, in fact, provide a blueprint for understanding not just merely the way contemporaries meet challenges, but perhaps even future generations. And I think in studying the past, we come ultimately to understand a number of things in summation. People have lived and died believing in things that we know are patently false. They have done things that we consider by today's standards completely intolerable, anachronistic, out of place. That's what that means. History helps us understand why people believed what they believed, why they did what they did, and the forces that shaped those actions. We also come to understand why these actions changed over time, or did not, for that matter. Why has humanity held on to certain beliefs and discarded other ones rather quickly, and vice versa? So I think, this is something that we give strong consideration to when we think about why history is important. In the end, history might be a tool for the future. We will take to our graves actions and beliefs that future actors might deem absurd. Who knows what discoveries are on the horizon? And I think those discoveries will change how present and future actors meet challenges. Discoveries will also change how posterity, those yet born, think about what we've done. So studying history, I think, helps us understand these patterns. It helps us understand us. The past helps us understand how historical actors met or did not challenges, how they innovated their way out of problems or they did not innovate their way out of problems. These matters, in essence, become blueprints for thinking about who we are and who we are not. In some ways, history is a way to put people on the proverbial sofa by looking at what people did in the past to see how they met challenges and how they overcame them. And in that way, I think it's a referendum on the present, an imagination of the future. So when thinking about the past, always has present implications. Prompts from the present often inform what historians do. And I think in that way, history is always being recreated to help us make sense of our world. Thank you.